welcome to another episode of the Rhebel Phodcast, coming to you from the Balcony of Freedom on this Thursday evening in downtown Melbourne. My name is Fraaank, and before I introduce my guests, what an amazing 24 hours it has been.
What?
If you think about this time last night, Melbourne time, the United States was re-electing their president, Barack Obama, for 4 more years, and then just 12 hours later, in a little country called Scotland, the impossible became the possible when Dundee United managed to get an away win against Motherwell. Who would have thought? And on that note, I'd like to welcome back onto the show my podcast buddy and co-host, Callum. How are you this evening?
The last 2 days or last day and a half have been great for freedom lovers around the world.
They have. And almost a semi-regular guest now as well, my brother, Fraaank.
Hail, hail.
So, the last time we did this show, it was the evening of the first game against Barcelona. And if, your fairy godmother had come here and said, the next time you do a show, you're going to be doing this on the basis of Celtic winning against Barcelona, would you have believed it?
Probably not. Oh, maybe. I tipped it.
You did tip it?
And I put it on the Twitter. I can check it. But I tipped 1-0.
Right. Frank?
To be honest, when the game kicked off, I just went, got nothing to lose. Have a go.
Yeah.
And I was sort of relaxed until about this 15-minute mark, and I thought,
Here we go again.
Here we go again. Can I stand another 94 minutes of this?
Yeah. Well, I think it does prove one thing, in that the Scottish media are correct in saying that Neil Lennon just doesn't seem to win the big games.
And Rangers leaving or becoming defunct is Armageddon for Scotland.
It's Armageddon.
Scottish football will be no more.
Someone did tweet, I'm loving this Armageddon.
Or Armageddon's underrated.
Yeah. So let's go through the game, and we can sort of talk about. I just jotted down some highlights, which we could discuss at length, and then maybe have a bit more of a broader discussion about what it means. So obviously it was the club celebrating its 125th birthday, and the provisional wing of the Green Brigade had set this big display up, which was going to be all around the stadium. Impressed?
That was amazing. It was actually it almost left you speechless. To think about the amount of effort that were taken, and there was only a short time between kind of games at Parkhead, and I'm not sure if the club helped at all, but the Green Brigade paid for everything.
Yeah. And
I'm assuming organised the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And the fact that everyone also participated in it really well. I got an email from the Green Brigade saying what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And but the fact that everyone kind of put it up at the one time, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
And to think that you two blokes were responsible for that.
That's right, we started a trend.
Yeah, you started it. But for a few eager security blokes down here in little old Melbourne, you would have got away with it.
Yep, exactly right.
But it was phenomenal. And there's not a photo I've seen a lot of them, that still do it justice than watching it live. I just hope somebody's got one of those
panorama
photos.
There's been a few on, but even still, the amount of detail in the Celtic cross, and the red around it is. Can you get that right?
Yeah.
And they only have one shot doing it because they can't practice it beforehand.
That's right.
And getting that right was pretty.
So the fact that, as you said, everyone kept it up till almost the balls kicked off. That was was phenomenal.
And I think that would have definitely had to have had some sort of impact on the Barcelona players. I know they're millionaires and but I think they looked a bit not rattled, but I could get a sense that they were not as focused on the game at the start.
I think throughout the game, especially when our challenges started coming through and the crowd got louder and louder. Very famous quote. Celtic shirts don't shrink to fit inferior players.
Yeah. It
almost felt like even some of the players, and look, they're all heroes tonight and tomorrow and probably for the rest of their careers in Celtic supporters' minds, but they really did seem to grow into that Celtic strip, and the Barcelona players did seem to kind of shrink and also almost become less interested, or maybe just were overawed by the whole occasion, because it just seemed like it was kind of big destiny for Celtic.
So the team, we had. I'm not doing the whisker gag again this week. We had Fraser Foster in goals.
You got that right and left.
I do. I actually went and double checked how to spell it the other day. I had to write an article.
Foster.
Yeah. Because I for some reason I always thought it was spelled Foster.
Because you went to school with a lot of Fosters.
I did, and I just thought that.
And you love the beer as well.
And I just thought, yeah, that's right. I just thought that maybe it was the accent that was sort of overemphasising an R that didn't exist. But no, sure enough, it's there. It's F-O-Y.
Maybe we should just refer to him now as the #1 world goalkeeper.
Yeah.
After last night.
Unbelievable. Heroics.
Yeah.
Lustig, Ambrose, Wilson and Matthews across the back. And then Commons, Ledley, Wanyama, Mulgrew, Samaras and Miku. Or Samaras, as I tend to say, which I did not realise that I was saying it wrong.
You were.
It's been picked up by a friend
You said it last week, and I looked at you, and you just kept going.
I've known him for 6 years.
I've always called him Samaras.
Legitimately 6 years, and I just thought that's just Prefontaine being Prefontaine. Let Prefontaine be Prefontaine, and that's how he says it, because that's how he thinks it's the right way to say it.
Yeah.
So I just never picked him up on it.
Yep, and I actually genuinely thought that's how you pronounce his name. And evidently I was wrong.
What's in a name?
What's in a name? Well, Miku, it's not even his name. Is that on the back of his jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But his name's something else, isn't it? Like Johnny Wilhelm or something?
Yeah. I think if we actually sign him, we'll make him put his real name on there.
Right. So, opening 2 minutes, game kicks off, and the support are right into it with the come on you boys in green.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Glasgow's green and white. Absolutely. End-to-end stuff in the singing, not so much in the field of play, kind of bogged down in our half. And then ESPN took it upon themselves to, well, that's a little bit loud. That singing is far too loud for my liking, and I'm just going to turn it down a bit. And in fact, while I'm at it, I'm just going to turn up the commentators as well, because we don't want the fans at home getting a sense of the atmosphere.
I reckon there's a guy sitting in a studio in America somewhere, and he's got headphones straight into like the computer, where it shows the sound effects.
Yeah.
And I reckon that volume was too loud on his actual computer, and he's gone, that is really loud.
Yeah.
And he hasn't quite figured out how to do it. Because it seemed like as the crowd were trying to get louder, the actual sound on the TV got way low.
Yeah.
At one point you couldn't even hear them. Couldn't even hear him.
Oh, by the time we scored the first goal, they'd turned the sound off.
Yeah.
It was like Celtic were playing behind closed doors, except for the fact that the camera was shaking.
Yes. And you couldn't hear it.
Yeah, and clearly something's going on in the crowd, because that black, green, white movement going on suggests to me that there's football fans there and they're going nuts.
The Ponzum was going on as well.
Oh, we'll get to that. Barca sort of had their first attempt on goal in the first sort of six minutes, and then by the 8th minute, Tommy Smith with a Y pointed out that someone was wearing a snood. What is a snood?
I don't know. Apparently there's a difference between a Glasgow snood and a something else snood.
Well, apparently not to wear snoods anymore. So they've already banned something that I don't know what it is anyway in the first place.
But Tommy just kept on going as if we all knew.
Yeah. Oh, he was talking about the snood the whole freaking match.
He was blind.
No, he was actually updating on who was the earliest person awake in Western Australia.
Yeah. So for listeners outside of Australia, we got the I've got a really droopy microphone. Thing might stay there. There's a couple of gags there. This thing might stay up. Oh, fuck. For the listeners out there, we had the ESPN coverage in Australia, and we had Tommy Smith and some English prick, and Tommy Smith basically spent the whole game updating us on what Celtic fans around Australia and New Zealand are watching the match and what they had to say about it.
And what their part-time job was. If they were picking lemons or not.
No mangoes, Leon.
No lemons today.
Well, I saw a guy...
melons.
I saw a guy from Adelaide tweet, "Oh, Tommy just mentioned my name."
I tried to tweet, but I got the wrong Twitter. Because I tried to get ESPN to turn it up midway through the game.
Yeah.
And no one... You
got donuts?
Yeah.
So then moving on, the 18th minute, Song gets his first, he gets a booking for a foul.
Give us a song.
Yeah.
Song.
Just remember that. Because the referee forgot all about that.
He didn't do.
Going on.
That was his third foul.
That was his third foul.
Which he probably,
And that one was very cynical as well. The one where he shot the yellow card.
Yeah.
Incredibly cynical.
Yeah. And then we get a corner. And at that point, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking, when I wrote the tweet and when I predicted we'd win, I thought the only way we'd win, or the only way we'd score, is from a set piece, and most notably from a corner. Because, I mean, as Dad, you said that when the cameras in the tunnel, I don't think one of their players was above 6 foot. Like, honestly, they're all. I think that was the smallest team in the average in the Champions League, and we were the tallest on height.
Which is a stupid stat anyway.
Statistic, yeah, which was.
But it was important because in the end it was a great,
pieces, yeah,
it was a great ball in from Charlie, great corner, and a ripper header from Wanyama.
Yeah, it was. Obviously Neil Lennon was going on about it's a set piece. They've been training. They looked at Barcelona's defence and at set pieces, especially for corners, and the back post was a weak link.
Yeah.
And they exploited it perfectly. I mean, they have to when they've only got, I don't think we only had 3 corners for the whole game, so you've got to make the most of it. Yeah.
When they scored, my thoughts were, you think, 1-0, let's just hold on to this and stuff, but my attitude was so negative. It's funny because guys always give me shit about being completely, the glass is always half full, but I was just thinking, well, it's only going to be
There's going to be more than one goal in the game.
Yeah, they're going to score again, and we're probably going to lose. So I was like, okay, well, you're just delaying the inevitable, Thanks very much, Celtic, just going to put you through the racker even more. Why'd you even bother going and scoring? How pathetic is that? And my body language on the couch was just, I was really happy we scored, but I went back into sort of dejection. I was just so wounded from the last game that I was like, these fuckers are just going to do it to us, But the game moves on, and it was a lot more open this time, I think, than the other game in Barcelona.
I was less nervous for the entire game, but I thought we actually defended really well because it looked like Barcelona don't cross the ball in, and it was almost like a win when they ended up having to cross the ball in because we'd cleared our lines pretty easily. So me and you were Dad were going for, we were like, just get them to cross the ball in. There's no point showing them inside because that's where they want to go. That's how they scored the goal last 2 weeks ago. And that's how Messi scored the goal this week because they're so dangerous when they're on the edge of the 18-yard box and the edge of the D, and it kind of going, the 2 passes in between that kind of small area. So we defended so well, and it was almost like in AFL and footy. It's called the third man up, where you go for a mark, and the third there's 2 players wrestling one-on-one, and the third man comes up from behind and punches the ball away. And it was very similar to what the 2 centre backs are doing. One centre back or one centre midfielder would have one of their strikers or one of their wingers, and the other free centre back would come in and put his foot out, stick his toe out, which is what Ambrose did so well for the entire game.
And the amount of times I saw Celtic, when we were hemmed in on our 18-yard line, be able to read the play quite well and actually get a sense of... Because Barcelona, they are so one-dimensional. I mean, they're obviously very good at it, but it's almost like a monotonous metronome. Because after a while you start to get it, you can actually pick a rhythm and actually work out where exactly they're going to pass it. And the amount of times I thought this morning, the guys like Victor and Ambrose and Ledley,
even Commons was
jumping, just picking, seeing where the pass was going to go and actually winning the ball before it got to them, or intercepting it or picking it off. I was really impressed by that. And the trouble is that they kind of race out of, they sort of ran with the ball and it let them calm down a bit. And but I guess the whole point was to try and, if you get possession while they're so far up, then hit them on a break and exploit it.
Preparation by Neil Lennon and his staff was fantastic. I mean, he's come so far in a short space of time. He basically read Barcelona for the 2 games. I mean, we were desperately unlucky in the first game. But last night, he had it planned. I mean, and it worked. His players played exactly how he's walked into that game last night without Scott Brown. He wasn't sure how long Sammy was going to last. I mean, we had a substitute bench. There was some guy I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
Heron, was it?
Yeah. Oh, no, that's the other guy we signed.
Right. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the bench was, then it was bare bones. I mean, the preparation, the players carried it out. It was just a fantastic night. I mean,
you look at the defence as well, because that's been kind of quietly built over a number of years. I mean, how good is Kelvin Wilson now? And you wouldn't have said that 6 months ago.
Right.
And I'm not sure if this is correct, but that's Mialby's kind of department working on the defence. And I remember, a year ago when we were conceding a lot of goals, some games when he was going, it personally hurts me every time we concede a goal because we're working on this every day. And they've just they brought in Matthews, who had a good season last year, but as kind of grew with that game as it went on. Lustig looks like a really good pick, even though he probably first 15, 20 minutes looked a bit dodgy. He actually improved in the game and grew as the game went on. And those two, in particular the two centre backs, look like they've played with each other for years because really, really great covering. They compacted really well as a whole unit, and the whole kind of defence. Obviously, when you have a guy like Fraser Forster as your keeper, you have a lot of confidence in that back four or back five, as it was last night.
Yeah, I think overall they played as a unit.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't, if you can't even pick, you could pick one, you could pick the keeper out. I thought Matthews, his best game ever last night, and his whole career will probably change now. But individually they played up to where they wanted to, but as a group, like that 4 or 5 in the midfield, you couldn't say, what did Joe Lidley do?
Yeah.
I mean, what did Chris Commons had a couple of little spaces where he played well, then you didn't see him again.
Yeah.
But they all played exactly like you were saying. They worked out where the ball was going. They just covered each other the whole game.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why guys like Iniesta and Xavi and Messi maybe didn't play up to their standard was because guys like Joe Ledley, who does so much running behind play, were blocking off runs and tracking back and all that type of stuff. And as the Celtic website had, man of the match, the Celtic team.
That's what they wrote.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Which is very fitting. You can almost say the whole Celtic family, really, man of the match.
Yeah. Even Kyle, when he came on, he came on, but you didn't see him again. But he did a ton of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, those boys ran their ass off.
They looked genuinely tired.
When Lustig come off, I didn't think he was going to make it to the side. He was someone going to carry him off.
Yeah.
He was, and even Sammy's 60 minutes was fantastic.
It's difficult to, especially on TV, it's difficult because they just to show all the behind the scenes kind of running because you only get a certain view.
Yeah.
But you could really tell that the whole, as you said, the whole team worked incredibly hard as a unit.
But I mean, when they put out that statistic about when Sammy came off, the team average was 8 kilometres per. That was what the average was.
Yeah.
And Sammy's was 7.8.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
That
is bullshit.
Yeah,
how do they do that as well? How do they even do that?
I don't know how they did it, but that is wrong.
And then at the end of the game, well, listen to the guys on the Waves this afternoon, and Gaffney called up at the end of the day in the show and said that he'd looked at all the stats on all the kilometres that they'd run, and Mickey apparently ran the first out of all of them.
Right.
I guess it makes sense because they've got more field to cover there,
left to right.
But I would say, in terms of intense running, like those sort of second, third, fourth efforts, it would have been those guys in the midfield.
Wanyama was everywhere.
They ran their asses off.
Yeah, £25 million is way too cheap.
Yeah, way too cheap.
That's bullshit now.
So towards, I made a note here, towards the sort of 39-minute mark, it looked like Barca had kind of chucked their game plan out their window because they played 3 long balls and they put in 2 crosses, just actually straight in. And I thought, these guys they're not with it. They're rattled. They're trying to, and then as I said that, Tommy Smith goes, Barca are back to their tippity tappity, their tippity tappity style. I just thought, that's what you call it.
And then they had a conversation. Is that right? Tippity tappity.
Tippity. I know. And then he went back to naming fictitious Australian country towns like Mackie. Mackie in Queensland.
Cookie.
And Cookie in Sydney. And he fucked up Capalaba Bar, is that what you call it? He has weird tone names.
He had a great night, didn't he?
He had a ripper night.
And he really enjoyed it.
And at one stage, he didn't say it, but he came out with a suggestion that they were all on drugs. The Spanish team. Yeah. He said, "How come Barcelona don't get tired?"
Yeah.
And I thought, you cheating, drug-taking Spanish bastards.
Yeah, so you're all a bunch of lounge, I'm sure.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
All those doctors that, in cycling are all Spanish, aren't they?
They're all Spanish.
Yeah, something's up. And then obviously... Allegedly. I don't think it's
defamation, right? If you can't prove it, that's defamation.
We just saying what Tommy was saying.
I wasn't defaming them by saying something was up. I don't think you can get done for saying something's up. It's just like in Seinfeld, something's missing. Something's missing, alright. Anyway, into the second half, Adam Matthews really came into his game, I thought, in the second half.
Yeah, absolute brilliant.
And then all of a sudden, obviously, sort of 61st minute mark, Fraser Forster makes this double save.
Oh, that was the best save
of
my entire life. Oh, no, sorry.
The left-hander one.
Oh,
yeah, that one.
That's what I tweeted.
That was point-blank range.
Oh. And he didn't manage, not Rab Douglas, take a lesson.
Yeah.
He not only managed to save it, but then actually control it and kind of parry it away from everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's incredible.
Even their goal. The save he made to stop the first shot was unbelievable.
And he almost actually saved the second effort.
He's just such a big bloke.
And he gets down so well.
Yeah.
He's like, we talk about it, but he has improved. He is like kind of the symbol for the Celtic team in all their improvements from the first year we had him. Yeah. Looked a bit dodgy, looked a bit shaky. Now...
Confidence of a prolonged run in the team.
And that's man management as well under Neil Lennon.
Yeah. And I'm sure that session with the England team would have helped. He's running around with the top professionals. Doesn't matter if it's
allegedly.
England. It doesn't matter if it's England or Spain or whatever.
Yeah.
You're in that elite group. You've got to be feeling pretty good about yourself.
Yeah. So. And keeping is a confidence thing.
Yeah. Oh. And the fact that, like I said to you, when Messi had that free kick and he tried to curl it around the wall, he can see over a wall. He doesn't have to worry about the wall. He stands there and looks over and goes, no worries.
The save when he had to put his head in the way of Messi's foot.
Yeah.
That cross, that was sensational.
And when you play save one of those, that's when your confidence starts to build. And then it was actually quite funny. At one point during the game, I'm sure I heard, as I yelled out, keeper, to get the ball, the whole crowd behind the goals yelled out, keeper! It was quite funny.
Well, you would have heard it, except ESPN by that stage you completely turned the sound off. Listening to the Celtic supporters sing on an ESPN televised match is like trying to listen to the radio and you're under the water in the bath. It's got that muffled kind of distant sound.
Yeah, it's like the old... Remember we watched... Was there the footy replays we used to watch and they had a
the
recorded crowd?
Yeah.
It just didn't... they'd cheer at the wrong times. And that's what it's like.
Yeah. Which basically was wind blowing through a seashell.
Yeah. And, Tommy's screaming at the top of his... Celtic Park is rocking! And you can't hear a thing.
Yeah.
It's him yelling.
Yeah. From the 62nd minute to about the 66th minute, Celtic kind of turned the screws on Barca. Do you know there was a period there where all of a sudden we just had complete control of the game? Like, never before had I seen that in the two matches. And... we had possession, and they couldn't get the ball off us. We strung like 50 passes together or something.
Yeah, when Dad said we've had more than 4 passes.
Yeah, like it was like all of a sudden this confidence was starting to. That was immediately after that save by Forster. I think they're going, well, he's doing his bit, so let's. And the game opened up a bit, and because like say what's his name, Xavi or no, not Xavi, the left back Alba, is it?
Danny Alves.
Yeah, and Alves is the other one. They don't actually play left and right back because they basically can't camped in the other team's half. So I think when the game does blow open a bit and when we press up a bit, they're in unnatural positions, which actually is their position, but they're never there. So it becomes quite unfamiliar. So when we were knocking the ball around, they were a bit raggedy.
Yeah, and they weren't very fast either, I didn't think.
Yeah, they are. They do a lot of work off the ball, obviously, but... They're not
over 2 or 3 yards.
They're not
not very quick.
And they're not in a hurry either.
No. That's the other thing, after the game, and you heard people saying after the last, 2 weeks ago, Celtic was an embarrassment to English, or British football and that sort of stuff. But, what do you want us to do? I mean, Barcelona don't play fast-attacking football, so you're not going to get the ball off them because they're it's almost glued to their foot and the ball. So what do you want us to do? We have to wait till either they have a loose pass or a loose touch, or, we just end up putting so much pressure on them we get the ball.
Yeah.
The same thing. They're so one-dimensional that, we actually worked out how to defend and what to do when we got the ball and what we did and how to defend them in the best possible positions, which was obviously wide, in the wide areas. Yeah. Because when they put a cross in, that was almost the best thing that could happen.
Yeah. Well, there was one occasion where they put a cross in. I was like,
and Messi almost pinched it. Yeah.
I was like, what's going on here?
But as we were saying during the game, and like you were saying earlier, they're just like this. They've got one style of play. Like how many times, if you're watching them, why would that right winger not go past or try to go past Matthews? Yeah. I mean, Matthews had a dream night. Yeah. He couldn't have played any better, but he knew he was never going to have to worry about the guy cutting down towards the byline. Yeah. Because every time he kept cutting in. Yeah. Yeah. The guy just cannot dribble past the guy. No. He's just not been taught how to do it. Yeah.
They don't want one-on-one situations.
No.
We talked about that at the last game, didn't we? We were saying how these guys just refuse to be in a sort of one-on-one situation.
Yeah, but once again, Neil Lennon's tactics. We lost James Forrest again, so we've got no speed out wide. So he's deliberately played Miku off George Samaras. So every time the ball did come up, the two of them actually played quite well together.
Yeah, Miku played really well, I thought. Yeah. He had played the ball for...
And he's hardly had any football.
No. But he held the ball up really well.
He scored on the weekend. Yeah. He's had a great game this morning. Who knows what's going to happen now,
Yeah. And did you notice at half-time when he was coming back on with Wanyama?
Yeah, he was talking to Victor,
Yeah, he was right, not in an aggressive way. He was actually just saying... I got a sense that he was saying, look, I play against these pricks every friggin' week when I was playing for Gaddafi. Mohammadi Gaddafi. Before the Arab Spring. And then I got a trade for Celtic.
During trade week?
Yeah, in trade week. For 3 draft picks. These are the kind of things you need to be doing. And he was listening. And I thought that was cool because he's a blow-in. He's only been in the team 20 minutes. And Victor's been around a lot longer than that. Yeah. So, now in the 68th minute, Song lays another tackle on Commons, I think it was, wasn't it? Or Miku. And I just thought, you're off. Like everyone in the whole stadium thought,
the referee thought it as well. He put his hand in his pocket.
He was shitting himself as well. And then, the person who really shit himself was the fucking referee.
Yeah, he bottled it.
He completely bottled it.
He bottled it, I reckon, about 4 times. Once in our favour, I thought we probably could have gave away a penalty. Would have been soft, but I've seen him given. And 3 other times. Once was Song. He should have been off before half time. Yeah. There's no way he should have played the second half. The other time was that last tackle on Watt. Which, no free kick, nothing. They go on the other and score. 2-1, who knows? What the hell? Yeah, and there was a tackle just after that on Ledley, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And right in front of him. Ledley was...
And he played
play on.
As well as when, in the dying minutes, when Chris Commons just got tripped by 2 of them. Yeah. And they almost scored as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's bottled it, Barca could have been down to 9 men. On any other day. It was just
He did. There were certain instances where they did dive, and he waved play on. Yeah. And but you sort of booked them for diving, I thought. And the amount of abuse he got from some of the Barcelona players.
I know. I mean, the fact that all 4 of the bastards come out with a sash on. I mean, seriously. It was hidden, camouflage, but I could see it. Bloody oath. It was, that bluey colour too.
That's why they've got the headphones in, so, UEFA can pull them up.
About the sash?
Just about,
what he's wearing, boys. What he's wearing in the dress room.
Yeah. Well, Albert got booked for being a prick, so that was
That was the one, yeah.
Yeah. Now, in the 72nd minute, the substitutions were made. Fabric Softener came on, and Song went off.
Did you see what he did with his hair when he was coming on?
No.
He was doing this.
He was fixing his hair.
Do you know how Kyle was just,
lubes it up.
Someone piss on him. His hair was completely dry, but you just sort of muffle it, and he was watching himself on the screen. You go,
that is the height of arrogance, is that you're doing your hair on the TV screen.
In the Champions League game.
Which, sorry, reminds me about when Mr. Obama was doing his speech last night. Did you see that bitch looking at herself on the TV?
No.
They picked out one good-looking chick.
Oh, okay.
And, she was just... but it was like her looking at Obama, but she wasn't. She was looking at herself.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And we took off Lustig and brought on a young guy by the name of Tony Watt. When you saw him bring on a striker for a defender, you're thinking, confident are we, Neil? What's some more goals?
Yeah, I really didn't. I was just in a trance at that stage. I didn't actually even think about that. Yeah. But it was that was fantastic, wasn't it?
What a night for him.
Yeah.
You get lucky tonight.
Tony, what?
I know. And it was such a well taken goal. Like, I mean, at one stage, so it came in the 72nd minute. I think probably in the 75th or 6th minute, he actually had a good run, but then just kind of ran out of legs.
He had no support too.
But it showed a sign of maybe what things were to come, and Barca probably should have paid a little bit more attention to him. And then I think it came from it was a free kick. Ambrose tripped up Iniesta or someone, and they got a free kick on the box.
Yeah.
Which Messi took and was easily saved.
And then
by our man.
Fraser got the...
Just hoofed it.
Yeah.
And I made a note to myself earlier in the game, because a lot of his clearances have been quite bad. Not just like sort of pass backs, poor clearances, but actually goal kicks, like set pieces where he was just... And he was kicking it like... Okay, if we're 15 feet taller than the nearest tallest player on the Barcelona side, why weren't we winning into the headers that came out of the...
Well, that was a problem, because he kept not kicking it to Sammy.
No, exactly.
And it was clear he was aiming for Samaras, and that was where Mickey was trying to... get the ball off him from there, but it was getting nowhere near Sammy. Whereas in the first game 2 weeks ago, that was when we were quite dangerous.
Yeah,
because Sammy was actually winning the ball or bringing the ball down. Which happened occasionally, but not enough.
Yeah, because then all of a sudden the ball just comes back. Yeah, but not on this occasion.
Fraser doesn't care. He got an assist and he was man of the match.
Yeah, no. So he absolutely plants a perfect ball for Tony Watt to run onto and show composure and strength. Mm-hmm. And as he ran towards that goal, I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute, And all of a sudden, he gets closer and closer, and then just fucking fires it. Unbelievable.
18 with a bullet.
Yeah. So, now obviously, us three watched it separately. You two watched it together out in the sticks, and I watched it here. What did you do with that ball in the back of the net?
There you go.
Well, I was by myself at that stage.
Sure enough to notice.
Oh, really?
I had to go to work.
Oh, really?
So I went to bed I left at the 75th minute mark.
Went to work,
sorry, to go to bed.
You go to bed?
So I left it as late as possible. And I couldn't... So what happened was, I couldn't call my boss up and say, hey, boss, I'm going to be late. Because the day before, he sent me an email quite late in the day saying, we need to talk about something you did a week ago.
Right.
So I was shitting myself.
Right, okay.
Alright, and I wasn't working in that particular office today.
Yeah.
So I was shitting myself for 3 reasons like yesterday. Number 1, the game.
Yeah.
Number 2, my year results came out today.
Yeah.
Number 3, that.
Yeah.
So, ended up, don't worry about the game, got to work, and it was fine. There was nothing I did, something I actually did right.
Yeah.
And he's like, that was a good job.
It's been a good day all round.
So, number 1, perfect. Obviously, Celtic won.
Yeah.
And then I passed my uni results.
Hey, mazel tov.
Thank you. So, I said to Dad, just text me. It started off with text me every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I went, well, don't say, because I'm going to look at my phone every minute.
Yeah.
You know when you got on your Twitter and you keep scrolling but nothing happens?
Yeah, yeah.
You're just waiting for one more person to say something?
Yeah.
So, Dad texted me saying, what? Right. What a goal, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I checked Twitter and almost caused 3 accidents. and just...
Oh, you're driving?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So then, what did you do, Dad? So I beat the horn.
Right.
And did a little, shimmy in my car.
Yeah.
Well, the dog jumped off the beanbag and was trying to jump on top of me because she thought something was wrong.
Right. You're having a panic attack.
Best feeling ever.
Yeah.
I have watched the rest of the game, by the way.
You haven't?
I have.
Oh, you have? Okay, right. So we can just continue talking.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
It was a good feeling.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And that's when my attitude changed.
The 90th minute?
No, when we scored the 83rd minute or whatever. I got off the couch and I nearly dry humped the television. I actually grabbed it by its ears. He went, "Come on!" I was absolutely, as I said to you before we went on air, I think people were walking past the front door and they were thinking someone was getting, some bad things were happening inside. Because I was losing my shit. So for the rest of the game, I'm like, we actually now can win this. There's no bullshit goals coming from Barcelona. This is ours to take now. Like my attitude, my heart rate is going through the roof, and now I'm not miserable, and oh god, unbelievable.
Put a smile on your face, right now.
Sport is such a ridiculous thing, isn't it?
It's not sport.
No, this isn't sport.
This isn't sport.
This is life and death.
Footy, that's sport.
Yeah.
But this is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous because there's 3 blokes sitting in an apartment on a Thursday night
wearing our Celtic strips.
Wearing our Celtic strips, talking to microphones.
In Australia.
Yeah.
No less, not even in Scotland.
Yeah, but you know how good it is when people on the outside of this ring who got no interest in soccer all come up to you and say, "Oh, I heard about that result.
Yeah.
Must be pretty happy about that."
Yeah.
Or it's on Fox Sports News or,
Yeah. Well, I had 3 guys when I was walking through the street this afternoon. All go, "Come on, attack." And I was like, "You fucking know it." So we score the goal. The 85th minute, there's 60,000 person huddle,
Poznan.
which was referred to as the Poznan by the English wanker commentator.
Which that said to me, what is that? And I went,
I had a massive argument with my friends at the Melbourne Victory game the other night about, I was basically saying how Celtic basically had this reputation, and it is based in fact, that we're the first to do so many different things. They didn't believe me that we were the first team to do the huddle.
They think that they started just can't get enough.
Oh, I know.
You can't argue this, but
I feel like an article coming on. But then Tony Watt is through on goals, and I think it's was it Alba or was it
that really
Mascherano bloody fouls him, and tell me that wasn't a foul.
Oh, and tell me it wasn't a foul.
Oh,
how many more referees do you need in that area?
Yeah.
Not one of them picked it up.
No.
There's a shot of the main ref as he's running away from the incident, and he's looking towards his linesman, like he's looking for a bit of backup.
Because he is quite far away, actually. He was probably at the 18 box. And at the halfway line.
And if the referee's already developed a reputation over the 85 minutes of shooting himself on decisions, then he's going to get no love from his linesman.
But the fact that he did actually look over there, he realised there was an incident.
Yeah.
Well, what happened? And the referee the linesman could not see Mascherano grabbing Tony Watt's arms.
No. Well, that's why you're that 8th official behind the arms. He would have been able to see it.
He's just there for the dress-up.
Yeah. He's on for the ride. Yeah. He's there for the free cake.
So, the guy should have been sent off and end of the game,
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
and a free kick, which we would have scored from, because I just would have chipped it up nice and high. I wouldn't have even bothered trying to have a shot at goals. I just would have lobbed it up really nice and high and let one of our boys just go belt it in the back of the net. Little midget kids running around you. It's like playing under 8s, basically.
It is.
It's like playing indoor and you get the keeper to kind of throw it flat, and all you do is stand on the keeper, and then you can't header it up. That's all you do.
Yeah.
Indoor, or like watching a girl goalie.
They are so bad.
Girl goalies.
They're all too small.
Yeah.
And normally they got cycling asses, so they can't jump.
Girls can't jump.
They can't.
Except for Celtic supporting girls that are listening to the podcast.
They're hot.
They're hot. Yeah, they jump well. And then 4 minutes of injury time.
Really?
That is a mystery that has been solved by the referee. Does he know who killed JFK as well while he's at it? I'd like to know these other mysteries that he's developed over time. Where the fuck did he find 4 minutes from? There was nothing happened in the game.
No.
There was 9 fouls for the whole match.
Yeah. There was one injury.
Sorry, there was 18 fouls for the whole match.
Where Chris Commons went off with cramp, but that was 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And that was actually during one of our stoppages.
Yeah, even if you count all the subs, like 30 seconds per sub, that's 2.5 minutes.
And they don't even use up time for. Isn't that the whole point of time wasting? Is when you take a substitution?
Well, the substitution is supposed to be 30 seconds. That's how much you're supposed to.
Yeah. Oh, okay, right. Okay. Yep. Gotcha.
But so you still got a minute and a half of time that you added.
And sure enough, they score in the freaking first minute of injury time.
From the moment Tony Watt scored, the 84th minute, that was the longest. That was even longer than the 90 minutes we had to put up with last week.
Yeah.
That 10 minutes was just... Well, and then the dickhead, Tommy and his mate, called it too early.
Yeah,
I mean, that was just even more annoying.
Well, sorry.
I was going to say, it was that long. I had three haircuts I could have achieved in between the 84th minute and the end of the game. It was that long.
Because you texted me, Dad texted me at the 88th minute when they started singing, having a party. So I thought, game over. Because I stopped going on Twitter once I saw we were 2-0 up.
Yeah.
And then I went back on Twitter again to see all the kind of the reaction quickly, and then I scrolled down. And it was like, and no one really said anything on the Twitter about them scoring. It was just in like the last kind of line in Celtic official Twitter, which was 90 plus 4 minutes.
That would be holy fuck.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, little bloke just scored. And I'm going, oh shit. So I'd text Dad saying, did they just score? And he went, yep. And I went, oh god. This is going to be a long 4 minutes. So I was looking at my clock in my car just waiting.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to know anything.
No, nor did I.
And then cue Bedlam on.
I was getting really pissed off at Chris Commons when they took that free kick.
Oh, I know.
When he went to the bar, I go, oh shit.
You could even hear, through the muffled tones of the water that they put over the top of the speakers for ESPN, you could actually hear the groans, I think, in the crowd. Because the amount of time to use... Okay, fair enough. If you can hold the ball there... Then
he did the right thing, but...
But Mickey didn't help him either, because Mickey ran away from him.
Nah, yeah, that's right, yes.
I think it would have taken longer. He would have wasted more time if you actually take the free kick and put it in the box and let things happen than go to the corner, lose the ball, and they just fucking knock it up around the park again.
Yeah.
And then there was these bloody goldmouth scrambles on 2 or 3 occasions.
It was like ping pong.
Oh, anything could happen in that.
Oh, there was one in particular where I think Messi actually turned.
Yeah.
And was about to shoot from inside the box.
Yeah, I know.
And
I think I was wearing brand jocks, so I was okay, but otherwise it would have been a bloody mess.
Yeah.
And then they blew that whistle. Oh, when they cleared the ball at the park, I went, oh, he's got to blow the whistle now. But I thought, no, the turd's going to bloody give it another, another minute on top of that, like the bloody Chelsea game against Shakhtar. But no, he put us out of our miseries and put Barcelona out of their miseries as well.
Yeah, that was great.
And the possession stats at the end
didn't bother.
It didn't matter, but I just like the number that Barcelona had 67% possession. It was a nice.
I've seen about 3 different tweets on that.
I thought that.
Different.
I thought that. I think Spinner had 33-67.
Okay. Because they had and is that the one with the passes? 999 passes.
Yeah.
We had 167.
Yeah. We're far more efficient football, so that's exactly.
But see, we had 5 shots and they were all on goal.
Yeah, I know. There's shots on target. Half of them weren't on target either.
Nah, most of them hit the woodwork.
Jesus. They did. Having said that, though, even though they probably had closer chances this time than last time, I thought they weren't as good as they were in the new camp.
I thought they were much more comfortable this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, new camp, I thought they could have walked in any stage.
Yeah. Remarks from the managers while you set that one up, Callum. I liked the remarks from Villanova, the Barcelona manager. He said, look, Celtic played really well. It's not always just about us. And I thought, fair enough too, because, we did play well, and we played well in the game.
And Iniesta also said after the game, I hate losing, but if we're going to lose, I'd like to lose like that.
Yeah.
In that stadium with those fans against that team.
Iniesta just wants to play for Celtic. Him and Xavi have literally been on the record on several occasions to say how fantastic Celtic are. I really think if you put an offer in, they'd probably come. If they had falling out, I'd get one of your friends to shag, his agent or whatever, and just find out exactly what's going on. And then, as soon as you find things aren't happy in the new camp, I'd put in an offer, and we go, yeah, I'll do it.
Did you see the 3 of them in the floating rooms before the day before?
I know.
The streets.
I know. Yeah. Well, they would have rocked up and before training said, how much for a tour?
Yes.
Yeah.
Neil Lennon grabbed Fab after the game.
Oh, did he?
And said something about his hair. Wasn't sure, but or maybe you can come back next year and have a game. But this time tomorrow, I'm going to do a Beatles thing and go. I believe in yesterday.
Very good.
I can't do it today because it's still today.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that your one, or did you get it on Twitter?
I sent it on Twitter.
Oh.
Okay. So, Callum, do we have any remarks from our gaffer, Neil Lennon?
I've got Lenny here.
All right, let's have a listen to him.
Neil, many congratulations. You've beaten Barcelona now as a manager. Where does this rank in your career achievements?
Straight up there with one of my proudest nights of my career. It's just a monumental effort from all those players tonight, and on the anniversary of the club, it's a very special occasion. I wanted them to do themselves justice tonight, and they've even surpassed that. Just beating the best team in the world, and they got the two of the stiffest examinations they'll ever get in their career, and they've come through it with flying colours.
Before the game, you were looking at a squad decimated by injury and this afternoon illness in the case of your captain. What was it that got them through it?
Team spirit, teamwork, discipline, bit of belief. We felt we could affect in the corners, and we knew that their back post area with Alba, if he was zonal, we knew we could threaten that. And I mean, Charlie Mulgrew is one of the best dead balls players around, and his delivery was magnificent. And Manyama, who just keeps getting better and better, he scores a great goal first, and then you weather the storm, or you try and weather the storm, and you know it's coming, and there's not a lot you can do about it. But you saw it through. Young Tony comes on when a few of them are down on their feet, haven't given everything, and gives us a new lease of life, and scores a brilliant second goal, and he's going to go down in the history books now of the club, and it's fantastic. I'm so pleased. We've waited a long time to get back into this competition. The club's been a wee bit in the doldrums, but I'm not saying this is the pinnacle, because I think there's more to come from this team, but the progression's great.
What about qualification to the last 16? Might that be the thing that's still to come?
Well, it gives us a great chance. I mean, the Benfica beat Spartak, so I mean they're still on our tails, and we've got to go to Benfica now and try and use the game again. We'll cross our bridge when we come to it. I want them to enjoy the evening, enjoy the moment, and get back to domestic duties on Saturday. But these are special nights here, and when I took the job on, I said I want to bring the thunder back, and I've never seen the atmosphere as good as that.
And we get thunder and lightning tonight. Neil, well done. Enjoy your night.
Thank you. Cheers.
Incredible result.
Shut up. That's the first time I've heard.
He's read a poppy, that bloke, as well.
That's the first time. I saw a guy rode a poppy in the street today.
You punched him in the face?
I don't know why I felt some sort of like. Anyway, just because you read so much about what's going on in the UK, and then you're in Australia where it's quite fine to wear a poppy. You're not going to get abused if you don't. I almost gave him impulses. You bastard. So, Neil Lennon's comments. What are our thoughts on what Neil had to say?
Yeah, actually, all day I've been thinking about, when Neil came to the job, he said, I want to bring the thunder back. And boy, oh boy. That's, even though we've been bitching about the sound all day, it was something else, wasn't it?
I mean, it started the game, and you just say it was a whole special feeling around the whole kind of club, and it's been pretty optimistic as well before the game, and especially, the St Mary's celebration yesterday.
Yep.
It seemed like the whole club was coming together as a family. It was pretty special, the whole game.
Yeah, you touched on it there too with the players. It's teamwork. That's what he's developed. They've obviously got a bit of a bond happening, and it seems to be shown on the pitch too. So
yeah, I still think Tony Mowbray was a better manager though.
I've still got this picture on my head when the bus drove out of that the stadium in Brisbane.
Yeah,
and all the players were just had the earphones on and they were reading away, and there was Tony waving to me. You stupid bastard! I've got this in my head and I can't get out.
I've still got the memory of him coming to work after who did we lose against when he got sacked in the end?
St Mirren.
What was it?
5-0. The glory days.
And he came to work and had a meeting and had a truce, come on guys, let's let it all out, and he still thought he was going to be managing after that game.
So I didn't mean to bring up Tony Mowbray, but I just like to put things in perspective how great a job Neil Lennon has done in the short space of time that he's been in his club. Because these guys, they are a young team, both in age and in experience, They're not by any means a rich team in terms of market value, but they just, they beat arguably one of the best teams in the world right now.
No, they were the best.
How do you feel if you're Chelsea right now?
Yeah.
Not care about Chelsea.
No, if they had to beat us, they're just another team, but we beat them, so they are the best.
Yeah.
Well, there was a stat, I'm not sure if this is right, but there was a stat that I read, something like, Man City coming last in their group at the moment.
Yep.
They got 2 points from 4 games.
Yep.
Spent $250 million on their squad the last 3 years. We've spent $12.5 million on our squad.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
The thing you must give those players now is a confidence.
Oh.
Yeah, there should be no game now where they're going to go, ooh, this could be a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
They've just went through 2 fantastic games, and as long as they prepare and do all the right things, who knows?
If you think if you're say Wanyama, you're a kid growing up in Nairobi, Kenya, and then you're playing football, and Kenya's not exactly a well-renowned footballing nation compared to their African brothers.
Compared to their test
side, exactly. They got test status.
Are they ever?
Okay. Well, they should.
They should.
Compared to the Ghana or Cameroon or
Ivory Coast.
Yeah, Cote d'Ivoire or even South Africa. There's some better, more storied African national sides. He comes and plays for this football team in Scotland, in cold, miserable, wet Glasgow, and now he's on centre stage scoring goals against Barcelona. What a complete turnaround for this bloke! And I was just looking at the nations of origin of the players that played for Celtic today. We had an Israeli, we had a Kenyan, we had a couple of English guys, we had a couple of Welsh boys.
Where's Ambrose from?
He's from, I can see their friggin' flag, he's from Nigeria.
He played in the Israel League last year.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I know.
Every second team's called Haifa.
or Maccabi. And who else? Who else is in the team?
A couple of Scottish boys as well.
Yeah.
Scottish boy, Collins.
Yeah, it's
and an English keeper.
Yeah, and this sort of mix of unknowns that Neil Lennon has been able to pull together and have just beaten. And then you look at the lineup for Barcelona. It boggles the mind, but it's brilliant, and that's every reason why Celtic supporters should be absolutely over the moon, and we can see it on social media and stuff. Like they just didn't stop tweeting all day, and people didn't go to bed until 6 o'clock this morning. One person in particular, our cousin Sean, who I got a phone call from, he was on Suckyall Street at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and he was buzzing. And he was buzzing that much. I actually wrote down some of the things he said. He said to me, "Glasgow is alive, man. Honest to God, Glasgow. I've never seen Glasgow like this before. Glasgow is alive." He goes, "Glasgow is alive with Fenians." and then he went and joined a huddle. And there was
a random huddle.
Yeah, random huddle. And then he left that one, and then he went and joined another one, and the guys were singing the song about, we're the famous Glasgow Celtic, and we're off to Wembley. That's what they were singing. And you could hear people in the background going, "We're going to Bobby's place for some beers. Are you coming?" "Oh, I'm coming. Brilliant, man." I don't think he knew who they were, but cousin Sean. So I actually am. Well, you guys talk amongst yourself.
Well, we'll listen quickly to.
You set that up.
I set up.
Oh,
because I'm prepared.
You're prepared.
This is a sharp podcast tonight.
Because I'm not.
Wanyama's interview after the game.
Victor, many congratulations. Can you sum up what it's like to beat Barcelona?
This is unbelievable. Today we have just worked hard and we were good as a team, compact, and we got the 3 points what we wanted, and we are very happy. I can't describe it. We are very, very glad. It's just unreal to beat one of the best team in the world. It's not easy. It was very tough, but we are happy. We are just happy.
What was it that got you through the game?
It's always good when you're playing against this team to keep the ball, and I think today we were very good. We were calm with the ball, and that's what kept us in the game. We were good in the ball. We believe in ourselves, and it came like that. And we got our first goal, so it was very important, and that's what I think it gave us energy to go on.
At your goal, could you believe how much space you got to run at the ball?
Yeah, you know, we have been working hard in set pieces, and we knew we were going to get one, and we did it well, and I'm just happy. I'm just happy for the team, and we did well tonight.
Is it too early to talk about reaching the last 16?
Yeah, I think it's too early. You know, we just have to keep on going and do the same. I think if we keep on doing the same, we're going to get great results, and we're going to be there.
Victor, well done tonight.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I didn't realise it. That's the first time I've heard Victor speak before. I didn't realise he had such a strong French accent.
Right. Is that what it is?
I didn't realise I thought because the Kenyans are colonised by the Poms, I thought they wouldn't have French accents. But there you go. Let's just try this and see if we get short of the phone. See if he answers. I don't think he will, but
it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
He did say he was going to go yin.
It is too. What do I normally do? Do I put it on speaker?
Yeah.
He's not a morning person.
Well, not when you go to bed at 5.
Welcome to the O2.
No, he's not answered. I'm going to try him again in a minute. Keep talking. Yeah. Now, man of the match. I know that the Celtic website said the whole team, but if you had to pick someone, who would you pick?
I'm going to give it to the Granby game, because they deserve it. Because that was a ripper. But I would give it, honestly, to probably Wayne Rimmer. He just was everywhere today, I thought. And scored a ripper goal.
Yeah. It's pretty hard. I mean, I can't go past the keeper.
Yeah, well, he was superb.
Yeah, that was world class. The save with the left hand at that was. It reminded me of the famous picture of from the Lisbon Lion game of the Italian keeper making a full on. He's horizontal, and he's diving for the ball, and a lot of Celtic supporters have claimed the ball went over the line, but he, it's a magnificent photo, and Stevie Chalmers is like lurking there just to try and score it, and that was a sensational save. I mean, Fraser's save was as good as that in real life. Like, when you slowed it down, it didn't look as good, but in normal motion, it was sensational.
Well, not only he had to be alert and put his hand out, but then to manage to parry it away from the danger, and he meant that.
Yeah. So strong.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's just strength.
But if it wasn't him man of the match, then it was Rod Stewart.
Greaton.
Greaton.
He was really upset.
That's what I love. That's passion.
That's what it is, though. Like,
he's a superstar. He's crying. It's fantastic.
And how many people I see shanked? I mean, you talk about
what's that got to do with it?
Because it's a superstar.
Huh?
It's passion.
It's passion.
No, because these guys on
it's a different kind of passion.
On the Telegraph were making fun of him, and BBC were laughing at him. But that's what it means for Celtic supporters. I mean, that was the whole emotion of the 125 years and everything. Where as Celtic supporters, a lot of people have gone through. And it's this is where kind of this club transcends just sport or just transcends the game. It's because of the emotion behind it. The sense of community. The sense of the occasion, what it was, and that's exactly what it meant to. Some people, and on Twitter, people were saying the same thing. They were like that. I think Paul Larkin tweeted, "I'm so happy I'm crying right now."
Yeah,
something like that. Because it was just like outpouring emotion. Because compared that to last game where we were so close and the kind of emotional toll it put you through, very similar. Probably even worse because when Messi scored, you went, "Oh God, here we go again."
There was a kick in the pills.
And then that release at the end was incredible.
Just turning our attention to Twitter for a moment, unless you had something else to add to that, Frank.
No, just we see so many celebs jump on bandwagons.
Yeah.
Rod Stewart's been there for him and Billy Connolly just get their own seats.
Yeah.
What more can you say?
Enough said. That's right. What was going on Twitter with this whole tits out of Barca if we beat Barca?
Hashtag. It was a hashtag tits out if we beat Barca.
Is that a trending apparently?
I saw 3. But they were not tits, they were just like girls in like Celtic bikinis.
Yeah. and they were horrors.
I had large breasts, but that was because they were fat.
Yeah. Callum. You can't even see that, mate.
That'll be edited.
No, I am leaving that in. I'm leaving that in. John McCallum at JMCCAL10 actually tweeted.
Rebecca is engaged?
Yeah, I'm holding back on. I didn't know I should say that during the podcast. Have you not read that one yet?
I didn't read it.
Is that true?
Let's focus on... yeah, apparently. Let's focus on...
I think... that's our cousin. He's young.
Exactly.
And
she's stupid.
And Prefontaine doesn't like her.
Tom Cargill called in on the Rhebel Phodcast. Do you have anything to say about the great win by Celtic today?
Well, it's not my name.
yeah, it is. You can be whoever you like.
Oh, right, okay.
I gave you an A-list. Tom Cargill, that sounds alright, doesn't it?
Yeah, alright. Okay, we need to talk about the image that you would have put on your article.
No, I'm serious. We're doing the podcast right now. We're not talking about the image or doing my article. If you've got nothing to say about Celtic, then we have to move on and we'll take another call.
Congratulations, you should all be very, very happy.
We are. Thank you very much.
Hail, hail.
Hail, hail. I'll talk to you later.
Cheers.
Bye.
That was my editor. Anyway, no, John McCallum tweets. He goes, I must. I think it's from Ayrshire. He says, I must admit I miss watching the games at Father Flanagan's, but what a great result! Come on, you boys in green. So big hail to John. And let me just bring up some other tweets I had saved as well.
Hail to Melbourne Tim.
Oh yeah.
There you go. He's still buzzing. He was wearing his hoops to work today.
Oh, didn't everyone? I don't work, but I just walk around town. Also, sorry guys, this is dragging this one out, but someone tweeted at Joseph McGonigal tweeted Lionel Messi has phoned the police. He's lost down Adam Matthews' sock.
Nice.
Give them their due. Barca came to win the match. They just didn't have what it takes to overcome the mighty Glasgow Celtic.
Mm-hmm.
Barca 2, Celtic 1. Time to... this is from Ronnie Covery. Celtic 2, Barca 1. Time to open the canonisation course for Brother Walford. His first miracle in the bag. I thought that was quite nice.
One from Andrew Young from Holboy.
Yeah.
Supporters know it, players know it, managers know it, media know it. European nights at Celtic Park are the best in world football.
Yeah.
And Celtic as well, the official Twitter feed and the website thanked the Green Brigade for the display as well, which is good for them.
Oh, very good. And I saw Tony Hamilton tweet. He said he went to go kiss Neil Lennon as he came off the pitch after the game, but ended up licking his head.
I didn't see that.
That's very funny. Let's just turn our attention to where we're going from here. Obviously next week. Well, actually, one other question. I know this is going a bit long, but you know, it's not often you beat Barcelona, so maybe the fans out there will give us a bit of grace. But where does it stack up in terms of European matches? Is this bigger than Seville?
Well, you guys were there, so you talk about yourself.
In terms of importance for the team, or is this bigger than, say, the Boa Vista game that got us to Seville, or...
well, someone was going on, it's the biggest game we've had since Lisbon. Well, it's not, you can't really compare that. Jordan and I, the other brother, were talking, and he suggested, the last big game he remembers was, beating Man United to qualify to the last 16. So, put it in perspective, Man United aren't the team that Barca are, and never will be. So it's probably a bit bigger than that, but it's still just 3 points in the end, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
I would say this is maybe on par with beating Liverpool at Anfield.
At Anfield, yeah.
Because that was the fourth time ever in the history of history of Liverpool that someone else had beaten them at Anfield in a European game.
Yeah.
Champions League, UEFA Cup.
Yeah.
But this is an important game because it's an incredibly important stepping stone for the team. And for the whole, it was the occasion of the whole, the moment, and in Celtic's kind of, incredibly long and illustrious history.
Yeah.
It was the day after we were founded. It was against the best team probably ever to play football, in terms of the amount of trophies they've won, the Champions League and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was done by a team that was brought together by a guy that had a vision, not a very big budget, and has managed to develop his own team and his own take on how he wants to play football. And look at how far we've come. You look at Scottish football. You look at the lack of funds there, the supposed Armageddon of what was going to happen.
Yep.
We had to qualify for Champions League this year. That was really important. The next important stepping stone is to qualify for European football, for after Christmas. For the whole of, not only for Celtic, but for Scottish football as well, because it's not a joke. We let people bring Scottish football down too easily. It's actually not a joke anymore. Yeah. Celtic are holding Scottish football's flag very high at the moment. Yeah. And people are taking it seriously for once.
So, do we, so the next...
What do you think? Where does it sit?
I don't think it's certainly I don't think it's the biggest game since Lisbon. I think, regardless of the result, I think obviously the second biggest game since Lisbon would probably be Milan, and when we played Feyenoord in another European Cup final.
Even that Leeds game.
Yeah, but I would say it's the biggest moment since either us qualifying for the last 16 for the first time, which was the beating of Manchester United, or even maybe just when we actually played those games against. I think we played Barcelona and Milan in the post group stages, and I think it's as big as that. Because what it has done is it's meant that we are basically 2 draws away from the last 16, or a win next in a fortnight.
Yeah, but financially it could be a potential, the biggest thing ever. Because the money's even more now than it was 5 years ago. So.
Yeah, and the potential, I don't want to say this now, but the potential fact that Wanyama could be worth way more than Eden McGeady.
Yeah. Would
you sell Wanyama for next year?
Well, we talked about this last week or last podcast. I don't want us to sell any unless it's for some crazy money,
like 20 million,
25 million.
Yeah, then maybe. But I want to keep this team together.
Yeah. I think 20 million's. Well, maybe that's obviously an incredible amount of money for Scottish player. But
Neil said 25 before last night.
Yeah.
So I like the way he's thinking.
Yeah. Because I want to win a European Cup.
And we'll never do it if we keep selling those players.
No.
And the idea is to try to maximise as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
With those types of players, because eventually the bigger teams come and just rape and pillage. So.
And Wanyama is only 21 or 22.
Yeah.
So he's still got a couple of years. He can. This is what Neil should be saying. Hey, do you want to be a legend of Celtic and potentially play in quarters and semi-finals of Champions League, or do you want to play for Wigan? And become the next Liam Miller of the Celtic.
Do you want to up your wages from £4,000 a week to, something?
Yeah.
He wouldn't be getting too much now on his original contract.
Yeah. And maybe get a car from Audi.
Yeah. Ian Scully.
Good on you, Audi. Do you still support Celtic?
So Benfica in 2 weeks' time, is that right?
Yeah.
And then Spartak at Parkhead. So the Benfica game. So I think our next podcast will be the Benfica game.
It will be.
So we won't.
That'll be your last, won't it?
Yep.
Before you take off.
Well, we can maybe do a pre-one. Don't do a pre. We'll do that later.
We'll talk about that later. We're not home boys. We don't discuss. what we're doing and what we're not doing on air. Big shout out to the boys, home boys. God bless you, we love you.
Except for Harper.
Benfica, what do you think we're going to do there?
Oh, too easy.
I'm more worried about Alloa.
Yeah.
That'll be a tough one, they'll be up for that.
Who have you got? Is that who we've got next in the League Cup? Have they done the draw yet?
Yeah, they just came out on Twitter.
No, I was talking about Scottish Cup.
SFA is about the Celtic Scottish Cup tie versus... I'm not going to try and pronounce this, alright? INVERURIE.
Oh, they won, did they?
Lotto. Or Aberoth. We play on Saturday, December 1 with a 3 p.m. kickoff.
Right. Interesting.
Who have we got in the weekend?
We've got
St. Johnson.
At home.
Energy play 3 games
on Sunday
in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days.
3 games?
9, 10. We play 4 games in 10 days.
Who are they against?
Thursday the 29th of November against Hearts. Mind you, they might not be around.
Indeed.
Then we've got the Spartak game on the 6th. This is obviously Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
And then Kilmarnock on the 8th. And on the Saturday the 1st of that game.
Right.
So, that's not very good.
Something's going to get dropped.
One game should get dropped for that game.
Anyway.
The 1st of December should get dropped. That's ridiculous.
Let's wrap this thing up. Final thoughts, Callum.
What a couple of our days. To be a citizen of the world.
You know, your son's a wanker.
If only you could see him, huh?
I'll learn off the best. YouTube.
Francis.
Yeah, it was a great... let's not think about what's next. It was just enjoy the moment. And people are talking about Celtic.
It is. That's a good thing.
And people outside of Scotland don't understand how big that is.
Yeah.
When you live in here and people in the street are talking about Celtic, that's a big thing.
Yeah, that is true. Don't forget you can subscribe to the Rhebel Podcast by going to our website, which is at theflack.com, or go to our other website, which is hailhailmedia.com, and follow all the other great Celtic podcasts, including Home Boys. I'm trying to make up for now, giving the boys a hard time. And you can follow myself on Twitter at prefontaine67. You can follow Callum at Donners67. You can follow Fraaank at giant_celt8. I don't know if it's plural or not. And you can obviously follow the Rhebel Podcast at Rhebel Podcast.
With H and H.
With a H on the R and the P. On a night when Neil Lennon and his kids faced the Giants of Catalonia and said, "Not in my house," we bid you adieu and have a great weekend, and hail hail.
Hail.